hang them up by the heels and Corn Market, I think, might be a good start.
Well, that's a wee bit draconian, but then again, whatever works, I say. Thank you, Stephen. Hang them up by their heels, I say. Steve Forbett would probably agree. Things sure were better back then. I remember the time you could leave the key in your door and no one would go near your property.
Working on the Georgia line a live long day. 99 degrees and only half past May. Nailing down the metal with the cross-tie blues. I had creosote all over my shoes. I hated it, you know. Now I find I miss it every time my little pension check rolls in. Of course I had it bad. Ain't not as bad as this is. It sure was better back then. Yeah, it sure was better back then. Working in the rain beneath the surplus tarp. Farming in the wagon, playing the sad juice harp. Passing out at night, still in my mud cake jeans. I was living off of berries and beans. I hated it, you know. Now I swear I miss it every time I look down at my pale white skin. Of course I had it bad. Ain't not as bad as this is. It sure was better back then. Yeah, it sure was better back then. With dark patch spread. Send me back to camp, go out for cook clean pans and scrub them down with Georgia red sand. I hated it, you know. Now I really miss it. Just staring at my TV till the broadcast ends. Of course I had it bad. Ain't not as bad as this is. It sure was better back then. It sure was better back then. It sure was better back then. And there's
Thank you. That's Steve Forbett. That's a song called It Sure Was Better Back Then. That's from an album called Mission of the Crossroad Palms. Good morning, Gerry Anderson here. I'll be here until 12 o'clock, till the crazy people come. There's crazy people all around me now. The number to ring is 08459 555 678. If you want to send us an email by any means, by all means do, or indeed by any means, gerry.anderson@bbc.co.uk. Or you can use the text. What's the number of the text again?
You know, it's...
What's the number of the text again?
It's on your text machine. It's on your text machine.
I don't have a text machine.
Well, switch it on.
Yes.
No, I don't look at it. You have it in there. It's not my job to look at it.
It's 81171.
No, I don't think that's right.
It is 81171.
Are you sure?
I'm absolutely
okay.
certain.
I'm just checking. Yeah, don't want to be giving the people...
No, listen, I'm excited this morning.
Are you?
Yes.
Why?
Could you talk to... I'm a wee bit embarrassed here.
I've never seen you embarrassed before. What seems to be the trouble?
Harry wants to tell you something.
It's obviously something that you're enjoying.
Aye. I don't know how to handle it.
Well, I'll handle it. I'm the gaffer.
Yeah, well, Harry's on one.
81171 is our text number. You'll receive those in there, won't you? Won't you print them out for me? Because I don't have time to handle them in here. What's his name again?
Harry.
Harry. Good morning, Harry.
Good morning, Gerry. How are you?
I'm fine, Harry. Mr. Coyle seems quite excited about what you have to say to me. I'm almost afraid to ask you what it is.
I was quite excited myself as well. This morning I was listening to another popular radio station. May I name it?
You may.
City Beat Radio in Belfast.
You swine. Okay, that's done.
Well,
right.
Now, what it was named for was this person had rang in looking for a CD of Sean Coyle for Lance Boyle and the Boilers.
You're shameless, was he?
No, you see?
Well, that's not unreleased yet. There's a bit of a... Well, maybe you don't realise what's happening here. You see, because of recent changes in BBC Radio, we feel as if Mr. Coyle and I need a higher profile. We don't want to be swamped underneath the resultant publicity given to other people. So what we've decided to do, it's not enough that we sit here and broadcast in the morning. We have to have some other strings to our bow, or indeed more arrows in our quiver. So what we've decided to do, we've decided to release a record each to see if maybe perhaps we can get some lasting pop stardom. Mr. Coyle has formed a group called Lanspoil and the Boilers. His first record will be released shortly. It's called A Boy Named Sue. I myself will release one next week. And Mr. Coyle, I believe you've got a follow-up on the back burner.
Yes, I'm in the studio right now.
Well, would you care to tell us what it is?
No.
Why not?
Because we're still working on it.
Oh, indeed. But laying down the tracks?
Yeah, I'm still working with the band.
Fiddling around with the arrangement?
Yes. All that.
Well, when do you expect to hear this?
I would say possibly Friday.
Mine has been held up on the printers.
Why is yours? Why are the people not?
Well, I'll tell you why. Can I tell you why?
Yes.
The man who has got the ultimate rights and indeed who's got the ultimate possession of my single is off skiing in France. I can't tell you who. You know nothing about my life.
No.
You're sitting here, you think you know everything about me, but you know nothing about the life that I lead.
So tell me this.
So I can't get a copy of it until next week.
When do I change
and it's the release has been delayed. What?
When do I change my name? You know where Cliff Richard changed his name and he ended up being Cliff Richard.
You know what Daniel calls Cliff Richard, don't you?
Yeah.
Don't be telling him. Will I tell him?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll tell him. Daniel O'Donnell has a pet name for Cliff Richard, and we know what it is.
Sure.
It's not terribly.
No, it's nothing.
He calls him Cliffy.
Yeah, it does it publicly, so it's all right.
Cliffy. I didn't say he did it privately. Yeah. I didn't imply that he didn't do it publicly. Yes. I just implied that people might know. Mm-hmm. It's Cliffy.
Cliffy.
Yeah.
That's right.
Why don't you record something by Ozzy Osbourne? Wouldn't that be a good idea?
Well, I don't really know how it's rather difficult for me to do that sort of thing right now, you know.
You could record some kind of a pastiche, as Ozzy Osbourne.
I don't like it. It gives me heartburn.
Well, okay, it's just a thought. I hope you don't mind me suggesting that, but
if you don't mind, I don't really want to have this conversation with you. If you don't mind,
All right then. Okay, I'll go back to the guy on the phone.
Yeah, why don't you just go on?
Yeah, all right. Yeah. What were you asking me again?
I was just telling you there about Sean there how popular it's getting to be now on other radio stations.
I didn't quite hear that. What did you say?
I was just saying, I was telling you about how popular Sean is getting to be now on other radio stations.
I thought that's what you said.
Yes.
Kindly don't say that again. Okay, right?
Okay. Right.
So what you want to know is his record available? Well, my answer is no, not yet. I don't know. See, what the original plan was to see which of us would be more popular. But my record has been delayed, so he's got a head start. But when mine hits the scene, it's going to be a different story. It'll be next week. So my follow-up will be delayed as well. So it's a difficult decision for us to make, because these are difficult times. We have to struggle here. We have to get our head above the parapet. Because there's so many broadcasters vying for our space. We have to do something different. We have to be different. We have to diversify and be versatile. You know what I'm talking about. Maybe you don't, do you?
Fair idea.
Okay. So you're saying that people on other radio stations are asking for his record?
They are indeed, yes. They are indeed.
Well, thank you for telling me that. I don't know if I'm happy with it, but it's good to know these things.
It is, surely.
Have you anything else to add?
I'd just like to wish him all the best. It does sound pretty good.
All right, then, if you insist. Okay, well, thank you very much for calling the programme. Maybe perhaps we'll have occasion to talk to you again.
No problem.
Well, thank you. Bye. Bye. Bye.
I would like a word with you. Sam's got some information.
Don't put him on again.
Sam's got some information for us.
Hello, good morning, Sam.
Good morning, Gerry.
How are you, Sam?
I'm very well. I'm a wee bit concerned about Sean.
What is this?
He's a bit of a gambler.
Excuse me a second. Excuse me a second. What is this?
No, this is all right.
Why are you putting people on to talk about you?
No, they're not really. This is a criticism.
Oh, great. Hello, good morning. I believe you're here to criticise him?
No, not a criticism, just a little concern.
Right.
Sean there was saying about betting about your text number.
Yes.
He was saying it was 81171.
Yes.
Gerry, it's not. It's 81771.
You see?
He would have lost his bet, Gerry.
You see? It's 81771. Yeah. I knew that.
Yes.
Why didn't you say it?
I did say it and you said I was wrong.
I didn't.
It's 81771. Our text number. Let me just repeat that. Let me do a proper announcement. Good morning. Thank you for not smoking. Our text number is 81771. Rude people need not apply. There we are. Okay. So any text number. See, no wonder we get no text messages. I was wondering why they weren't coming in. That's why they weren't coming in, because they're coming in the wrong number. Some shoemaker in Belfast is probably getting them all. Anyway, thank you for that. Thank you for correcting us. Sometimes we need. This is why we need another ear. This is why we value the listener's contribution, because sometimes people out there can hear things that we don't hear. Thank you very much. God bless you, my son.
Take care.
May you multiply.
Enjoy your show.
Thank you.
Bye.
Goodbye. Bye. Gerry, this is Willie Bradford. He sends me an email. He said, I like the idea you have of a singles night and hope it comes off. If it does, I would like a ticket, please. I heard you reading a text from Stevie Ray from Bangor this morning on Wednesday, offering his services on the night to provide music and entertainment. Yes, a number of people have come forward offering their services. May I use that word in the sense in which it is intended? I mean, musical services. A lot of people have offered to be the entertainment, be the band, be the singer. I don't know. It's going to be difficult for us to make these kind of choices. I think he would be a wise choice, as he can play almost anything on his keyboard. He can sing and tell jokes. Well, that's him out for a start. We don't want people telling jokes. Whenever I hear a joke, that's me finished. I've heard him on quite a few occasions, and he is excellent. Get him on and have a chat. Cheers, Gerry. P.S. I was at your outside broadcast in Castle Court. Excellent. But I didn't like the way Big Gerry Kelly and Mr. Coyle took over. Well out of order. Thank you for smoking. Willie... For not smoking, I'm sorry. Willie Bradford, age 25, from Donaghadee. P.S. Could you possibly give me a mention in the morning? I certainly will. Good morning, Willie Bradford. God bless you, my son. In Donaghadee. Here's another email forged from John Timney. It says, please play Lance Boyle and the Boilers. And also, can Mr. Coyle do an impersonation of Joe Mahan of the Lesser Spotted Ulster, as I feel he's quite similar to the late Ollie McGilloway, who used to do a very good impersonation of in the past. Yeah, he used to, but then Ollie died and ruined it. Song requested for the Gerry Anderson Show, A Boy Named Sue, Lance Boyle and the Boilers, from Gerry McCormick. This is too much for me. Also, here's another little message from a Robert Murray from Melmount House in Banbridge. Is looking for an old friend. An old friend is called Jimmy Bradley, who he worked with, a long time ago, in the 50s, in Eildon, it says here, outside Melbourne in Australia. Oh, you'd like to get in touch with him or anyone who knows him. So Robert Murray from Melmount House in Banbridge is looking for an old friend, a gentleman called Jimmy Bradley, whom he worked with in the 50s, obviously two of them getting on a bit, in Eildon. I never heard of that place, and I been in Melbourne. E-I-L-D-O... And well, the person who listens will know anyway. Outside Melbourne. Get in touch. Give us a ring here at 08459 555 678. Here's an interesting wee thing which I came across the other day. I kind of like this. A gentleman called, what's his name? A gentleman called Monty Alexander, a guy who lives in Spain. He said, as the town of Belfast grew in size, dependable street lighting became a necessity, with piped coal gas from a new gaswork completed in 1823, given the problem for over 150 years before being superseded by electricity at the latter end of the 20th century. And apparently he said he talked to a man called Alan Symington, who was a lamplighter. And he talked to him about his experiences as a lamplighter, a job that I remember him doing. Apparently he was a lamplighter between the years of 1956 and 1961. Is this current, I wonder?
God,
should we be
single men or single girls?
Anyway, I'm going to read this poem. He wrote this poem, and I quite like it. It's about a man being a lamplighter in the late 50s and early 60s. My name is Alan Symington, from South Belfast I hail. Before I am too old to tell, you must hear my tale. On reaching the age of 17, employment I had to find, and away back then, in idle state, I found people not so kind. On looking round me, I saw a lamplighter up a pole. He told me they were wanting men, and it could be my role. I mentioned it to my mother, who was near demented, advising that I'd cope and fall. Her intention was to prevent it. I love this. Regardless of this fear, and chiding to the depot I did go, to meet the head lamplighter, who wished for every globe to glow. You'll acquire a head for heights, he said. You ride a bike? It will need to be a good one. Punctures mean you have to hike. I just stood there nodding, impressed by knowledge and address. For £8 a week the job is mine, not a penny more or less. On Monday, this is true, you know, I'm not making this up. On Monday morning I reported in, so keen, fit and well, I got my corporation coat, lamplighter, on each lapel. Training started right away. An owl hand showed me what to do, who stressed clean lamps were paramount. He was 22. With paraffin rag, I cleaned the glasses, both inside and without. Standing back, I'd peer up at them, a job of pride, no doubt. Technology was involved as well, with mantles to be changed, every fortnight clocks for winding, and lighting times arranged. Lamps were checked in early morn, with any adjustment done, then later to see each light was lit at the sinking of the sun. Sorry, excuse me. I was taught the art of handling long ladders to places high, which were mostly on the main roads with trolleys buzzing by. One needed sense of balance to ride ladder on the shoulder. People stared in disbelief. No performer could be bolder. But enabling one to lofty heights, best trick was step and chain for standards in the main streets with lanterns to maintain. I have no idea what that means. This miracle of minor engineering was carried in the pocket, avoiding the use of ladders, less torque upon the sprocket. This is a work of genius. From the daily exercise of biking, I had the legs of a grasshopper, with which I speeded up the poles and never came a cropper. Rope work girls would shout, "Hey, monkey!" So impressed by my ascent, smiling I would wave to them, hoping to meet them on my descent. Now Belfast streets were many, with depots here and there. At Ormo, Tate's, Duncairn, the East, I served them all with flair. Holy Land Roads, Albert Bridge, Ravenhill, the one to Newton Ards, a strenuous daily schedule, no time for dalliance or cards. Then the street of Cormac, its butchers' pubs and Lundy's shop, a man prepared to sell you anything and never in a flap. Up the falls to Springfield Road, but Jordanstown was the best. A long ride twice a day and in between a rest. I would stash my ladders there in the old church hall, always ready for friends to borrow, I can now recall. The years flew by to 61 when I looked beyond the land, into the blue where billows rolled, all sunshine, wave and sand. So the intrepid mariner I touched places o'er the sea, where lights of foreign ports twinkled memories to me. Of lamp-lighting times in flaming youth, beside my native shore, where the lights had turned electric and the gas lamp was no more. I could taste the tea of friendship from those whom I'd served, respect shown by each for all, esteem so well deserved. That was before the days of parity of esteem, when no one would jump without a parachute. Then in my dream I'd ride along, even though I was afloat, freewheeling down the Duncairn Hill in my lamplighter's coat. That is brilliant. That is brilliant.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3.
Here's a song I played before by a band called The Lost Dogs. It's called Bullet Train. I think it's brilliant. A lot of people seem to like this. Steady, good rock and roll.
It gave the people hope and purpose. Built a place called Camelot. And we were the wide-eyed innocents. Till somebody had him shot.
Ooh.
He's been long gone. Too long gone. You know his name, now he's riding on the bullet train. I have a dream, said the black man, when we'll all study war no more. Equality, he said, for everyone here. Then they shot him on the second floor. Hey, he's been long gone. Long gone. You know his name, now he's riding on the bullet train. 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 He bought her a gun for protection. She kept it on the closet shelf. Their little child found it one fateful day. No, he never meant to kill himself. He's been long gone. Too long gone. It's a crime. the guns away. Oh, long gone. Too long gone. And we're all to blame. We gotta stop the bullet train. Riding on 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 the bullet
Stop fighting! Stop fighting!
Who was the man in Australia that you're trying to find? Give his name out again.
Just give me a break, will you? Jimmy Bradley.
Jimmy Bradley, yeah, so...
Have you got him?
No, there's a lady thinks she knows him. Is that what you...
Well, it's Robert Murray is looking for Jimmy Bradley.
What's
Robert Murray from in Melmount House in Banbridge is looking for Jimmy Bradley, whom he worked with in outside Melbourne.
Right.
In the 50s, a long time ago now.
Right, there's a man on one...
Excellent. Good man, thank you.
Yes.
We're told that our text number is 81771. 81771. Hello, good morning.
Hello, Gerry.
Yes?
I wanted to talk to you. My name is Michael. I wanted to talk to you about Spike Milligan.
Yes?
How funny was he, Gerry?
It's a matter of taste, really. A lot of people thought he was funny and a lot of people didn't.
You thought he was great, didn't you?
Not really. I thought he was a good writer.
Well, I remember you after he died, following the outpouring of emotion. Isn't this the cliches day, by the way, Thursday for zigzag outpourings of emotion? But anyway, you were telling us how wonderfully funny he was and all
I
that.
don't think I did.
Oh, you did? And you read out a wee poem of all of
I don't think I did. No,
Oh, yes, you did.
I didn't.
And you quoted Prince Charles as well.
I didn't.
Now, Prince Charles is a very, very poor judge of humour, isn't he?
Well, if you can believe how you read in the papers about Prince Charles, I mean, you'd be afraid to go near him, wouldn't
But you remember that old stuff about the goons? Remember all those ridiculous noises and all that Spike Milligan... I mean, that's not humour, is it? It's very juvenile stuff, Gerry. You wouldn't laugh at that, would you?
Let me just say this. I can tell you're a man looking for a row. I can tell that at the time, you see, it was very juvenile, but it was a kind of a breakthrough when you imagine what went before.
What, making funny noises?
Well, you see, these people... You see, do you know... I don't have to tell you. You're obviously a smart arse. Yeah, you don't know what you know, of course, what the background was. The background to Comedy Act Like the Goons was that they were all in the armed forces.
Forces, I know that, yeah.
And they were all very anti-authoritarian.
Yes.
And they were cooking a snook at the authorities before anyone did that. So it was kind of a rebellious kind of a thing, which had its day and had its time. The only true genius amongst them was, of course, Peter Sellers.
Yes, I see what you mean. I do understand there being anti-establishment humour. I know all of that. And Spike was funny in ways, but the funny noises bit wasn't funny, was it?
No, it wasn't. No, it was very juvenile. But sure, English people always like funny noises.
Yeah, but we don't over here. We're more
we don't like
here.
Sorry for interrupting.
Yep.
But Michael is right. You called Spike Milligan a genius, and you said how wonderful he was and what a...
I don't think I did.
Yes,
Oh,
you
yes,
did.
you
Michael's
did.
right. Michael's right. And he did read out a little poem, and you did pass on that comment about Prince Charles as well, too. Big favourite. He's everything Michael said.
Well, that
right.
must have been one of the days you were listening.
Yeah, but he's right. Yes, but Michael's right.
You're just jumping on that bandwagon because he's vaguely critical of me.
No,
so you're
he's
just siding with him right away. No. You never listen. You've no idea.
Jay.
Michael's right.
Jay, tell me this. Apart from I've been reading a lot about Spike recently. This is how much I care about humour and Spike. There's a book at the go at the moment called Spike Milligan by Spike Milligan. A whole lot of his sort of humorous wee things. Some of them are quite funny. And then I read a biography about a month ago by Susan somebody or other, which was quite enlightening and interesting, but wasn't supposed to be terribly funny. But it went into great detail about his background and all that, and his mental ill health and all sorts of stuff. But talking about the goons, do you remember Michael Bentine?
Yes, I do.
What do you think of him?
I remember I interviewed Michael Bentine on television a long time ago.
Did you talk to him about the Bumbleys?
No, but I'll tell you now, Michael Bentine was completely insane.
Well, the Bumbleys weren't very funny either, were they? I'm sure some of your listeners remember
the Bumbleys. You're talking about things that happened a very long time ago. You're talking about 50s, 60s and 70s.
Yeah, are you telling me your audience are all teenagers?
Well, they are at the moment. Yes.
No, the Bumblies is one of the most embarrassingly unfunny things I ever saw.
I know, but I mean, you see, but I don't think Markham and Wise are funny either. You see, there are certain things that don't last the test of time. They don't stand the test of time. The Goons is one of them. The Goons don't stand the test of time.
It does.
Because it's humour of the period. And you have to be there in the period. You have to be there to know what the historical context.
So once upon a time, Michael Bentine and the Bumblies were funny. Is that what you mean?
To some people, yeah.
Well, tell me this. Sometimes I have to pinch myself to convince myself that this actually happened. There was something on TV round about that time called Bingo the Boxer Puppy. Does anybody remember that?
Let me just check with the expert.
Bingo the Boxer Puppy. A foreign gentleman with a moustache.
Do you remember that, Mr. Cole? You know everything.
No.
He doesn't remember that.
Some of your listeners...
It sounds to me like a Polish cartoon.
No, it was a little man who actually drew a pup, and he drew it on glass, I think. Mm-hmm. And he was a foreign gentleman, most unfunny looking, with a moustache. Mm-hmm. And this was on every week. This would have been the 50s, I suppose. It's amazing what passed for humour in those. Now, that certainly didn't stand the test of time.
You see, one of the things that I think a lot of people don't realise that we, particularly, as they say, as Seamus Mallon used to say, in the north of Ireland, but I can respectfully say Northern Ireland. We in Northern Ireland, we were exposed to a lot of things that we didn't think were funny, but we were supposed to think were funny because we had a lot of English television and a completely different sense of humour.
Yes,
and we were kind of made to think that these things are funny. I mean, there are people in Belfast at the moment in the BBC who still think that Markham and Wise is hilarious, you know. Mm-hmm. And I never thought they were funny, and I never thought that. There's a lot of people I never thought were funny.
Yeah.
I mean, we were always, because English people thought they were funny, so because us being as English as Finchley, we were expected to laugh at them as well. And that explains the Hole in the Wall gang, I suppose.
Yeah, I think the Irish have a more highly developed sense of humour, Gerry, than the English.
I was reading a thing the other day. Do you remember Keith Waterhouse had a play called Geoffrey Bernard is Unwell?
Yes.
Now, I remember seeing that on stage, and it was quite clever. Mm-hmm. But I didn't think it was particularly good.
No.
And there was all these rave reviews, and I read an autobiography by him, by Keith Waterhouse, called Streets Ahead. Mm-hmm. And he said that they toured Geoffrey Bernard is Unwell all over the world, and it was hilarious. And
I know.
When they went to Dublin, nobody laughed.
Well, the Irish are hard to please because they've seen a lot of humour, and they've had a lot of good humourists, I think, as well. And we're hard to please, but that's not a bad thing. Tell me this, Gerry. The question of the moment is, there has been a deafening silence about the demise of John Bennett.
John Bennett is fine. He's alive and well and living in Belfast.
But he's not coming back, is that right?
Of course he is. He's got his Sunday night programme. He's got various other projects.
But he's not coming back in the morning programme.
Well, I don't know. I'm not party to these decisions.
I'm sure you are. I mean, you don't have your 2 minutes badinage with John Bennett. That's gone for good, isn't it?
I'm afraid so. All things must change.
I wonder who suggested that. I wonder was it the same person who suggested that Seamus McKee take up cackling on Radio Ulster in the morning?
He's starting,
which is most unseemly.
Now, you leave Seamus McKee alone. He's a fine person.
But it's not him, Gerry, this cackling, but he does.
No, you see, a lot of people cackle. See, this is the thing I'm talking about.
Policy. This is
policy. It was Conor Bradford started that. Now, let's do that. Go on, say something funny, Sean.
Say something funny?
Yeah, and I'll cackle.
No, I'll say something funny.
I was up at the rugby match the other day.
Something funny. The what do you call that gang? The Hole in the Wall gang.
You see?
Yes, but I think the instruction went out to all newsreaders and to current affairs broadcasters that they must be lightened up.
Noel Thompson tells jokes all the time. I think he's hilarious.
Who does?
Noel Thompson's hilarious. I laugh. I like when he turns around at Donna and he goes,
yes, but
listen, it's 11 o'clock. We have to go.
Okay.
We're not censoring you in any way.
Okay,
but we do have to go.
Bye.
The clock is beating us. He was trouble.
92 to 95 FM
and 1341 medium wave.
BBC Radio Ulster.
It's 11 o'clock. This is the news with Linda Ray. A 15-year-old youth was among 478 motorists here who failed breath tests in the run-up to Christmas and the New Year. The total number caught during the annual police anti-drink driving campaign is almost 100 more than last year. Here's Barbara McCann.
At 15 years of age, the youngest driver detected wasn't even old enough to hold a valid driving licence. The oldest motorist caught over the legal limit was 76. Police say the total number of detections, 478, reflects the robust enforcement approach to the problem they'd promised, but it's up by 82 on the same period last year. A breakdown of the figures reveals that 5 drivers were over 4 times the limit, 43 over 3 times the limit, and 178 over twice the limit. The detections include motorists who were unfit to drive or who were unable or refused to give a sample. PSNI Superintendent Ian Hamill says police are determined to catch drink drivers and bring them before the courts.
The police believe an attack in Portadown in which shots were fired through the bedroom window of a flat wasn't sectarian. A man was in bed watching television when the attack happened in the Ardress Park area just before 11 o'clock last night. A Pakistani family, including a pregnant woman targeted in a suspected racist attack in South Belfast last night, had only moved into the house hours earlier. A 6-foot wooden plank was thrown through the front window of the property in the Donegal Road area, showering the living room with glass. British officials are urging the United States to postpone new security measures which could force thousands of Britons to buy visas if they want to visit America. The US wants travellers who have passports issued after October the 26th to have biometric passports which contain details such as fingerprints. But the British Passport Agency says it won't be ready to supply them until 2005. Francis Tuke from the Association of British Travel Agents says it'll cause problems for some people.
Anyone who needs a new passport will need to get a visa, and that requires coming down to the embassy, US Embassy in London, and paying £60 for the privilege to do so. One way around that, of course, is to make sure that you get a new passport before the 26th of October, and that will mean you won't have to get a visa.
Many wild plant species are said to be under threat because of the growing demand for herbal remedies. A new report by a conservation charity has called on the herbal medicine industry to ensure that its products are harvested responsibly. Here's Tim Hirsch.
The worldwide market for herbal remedies is thought to be worth around £11 billion a year. In Europe, more than 1,300 medicinal plants are used commercially. The group Plant Life International says that far too often these plants are harvested wastefully. For instance, the bearberry, used to treat kidney and digestive problems, has become rare in much of Eastern Europe because whole plants are uprooted, even though it's just the leaves that are used in medicines. The British Herbal Medicine Association said it agreed about the importance of conservation, but claimed the problem had been exaggerated.
And the weather, rain slowly clearing. BBC Radio Ulster News.
BBC Radio Ulster.
Travel news. The Met Office is warning of difficult driving conditions, particularly in the east of the province this morning. Persistent heavy rain is causing excess surface water and spray, with reduced visibility on many roads. And due to the bad weather, there's currently flooding on the Donegal Road in Malile. As a result, police are urging drivers to slow down on this stretch of road. And finally, at the city airport, the British Airways flight from Manchester, which was due at 11:10, is now estimated to arrive at 12:30. Anne Jordan reporting.
Travel news from BBC Radio Ulster.
Thank you, welcome back. It's 4 minutes past 11 o'clock. Gerry Anderson here. The number to ring if you want to ask embarrassing questions about John Bennett or Stephen Nolan is 08459. Sorry, I slurred there. I'll try and get my tongue together. 08459 555 678. That's better. Text 81771, as far as we know. Email address gerry.anderson@bbc.co.uk. I must have a look at those. It's not fair people go to all the trouble of emailing and I never look at them. I never looked at them yesterday, but I got them all out and I've got them all here, as they say. Here's a song I played a while back. People who asked for it is called Aztec Camera. No, the group is called Aztec Camera. The song is called Jump.
I get up and nothing gets me down. Oh, you've got it tough. I see the toughest soul around. And I know, baby, just how you feel. You got to roll with the punches just to get to what's real. I can't just see me standing here, got my back against the record machine. I ain't the worst that you've seen. Don't you know what I mean? You might as well jump. Well, you might as well jump. Go ahead, that, baby, how have you been? You say you don't know until you begin. But can't you see me standing here? I've got my back against the record machine. I ain't the worst that you've seen. I don't you know what I mean? You might as well jump. Well, you might as well jump. Go ahead and jump. You might as well jump. Go ahead and jump. Well, you might as well jump. Well, you might as well jump. Go ahead and jump. Go ahead and jump. Go ahead and jump. Go ahead and jump.
That's a little white noise to keep you going there. You enjoyed that, didn't you? You love that. I played that especially for you.
Yeah.
We were talking yesterday about an acronym.
There's
a gentleman.
There's. Sorry.
What?
No, there's.
You're.
No, there's
What?
There's a man in Scotland, an Englishman in Scotland.
Yeah, I told you.
With a lorry load of whiskey.
I told you before not to put Scottish people through.
It's not Scottish, it's English.
Oh, that's
He's in
okay.
Scotland.
That's even worse.
Right, so...
An Englishman in Scotland.
It's got a lorry load of whiskey.
A lorry load of whiskey? Yeah. Right, okay. Hello, good morning, sir.
Hello, is that Geraldo?
It is indeed. I believe you've got a lorry load of whiskey.
Yeah, but it's not for me, and it's not for yourself, because it's going on a ship over to Rotterdam, because it's Scotch whiskey.
Scotch whiskey going to Amsterdam, Rotterdam?
Yes.
There'll be a hot time in the old town tonight.
No, I don't drink.
Well, I didn't suggest that you did. I thought maybe perhaps there would be a hot time in the old town tonight in Rotterdam.
There's 28,000 litres of it, Jerry.
What kind of whiskey is it? What kind of whiskey is it?
Scotch whiskey. I don't know. Don't know what it is. I just carry it.
Great. Well, anyway, what can we do for you in that case?
Right. basically, I understand that you're a font of knowledge.
I am indeed.
Well, I was told that.
Yes.
I've had a chest infection.
Congratulations.
Yes, for 4 weeks.
Yes.
And I've tried everything to get rid of it.
Every known remedy.
Every known remedy in England, including the old English remedies.
Yes,
which
like...
I'd rather not go into because they're not broadcastable, some of them.
Oh, I see. Well,
So
obviously... Yeah?
Sorry, what I'm asking you, Gerald, though, is what would be a good Irish old recipe to get rid of a nasty, tickly cough, but an English cough?
Well, an English cough is particularly virulent and particularly tenacious. I have to say to you that maybe perhaps the practice has died out in England whereby a person went to a chemist and says, have you got a wee bottle?
Gerry, I've tried everything.
Do the chemists have their own individual bottles?
Nah, I think, no, they don't. Not here, they don't.
You see, it's no good. You see, this is one of the reasons why England is on its knees. It's one of the reasons why Tony Blair is struggling. Because in any chemist shop in England, they have neglected the practice of making up their own special bottles.
Well, they don't do that anymore.
I know they don't.
But they do. An old wives' tale.
But they do that over here. They do that over here.
Blair's my MP. He lives in the same constituency I live in.
Lobby him.
I've never asked him.
Lobby him with every fibre of your being. And tell him to bring back a law that insists that chemists make up their own individual bottle for chesty colds.
Well, I've no chance of asking him because I'm not going to one of his surgeries because he's always protected too much with police and bodyguards and he wouldn't be pestered with a cough remedy. So that's what I'm asking you for. Because
well, this is one. You're in the wrong country to have a cold. You should never have a cold in England.
Well, I'm not in England at the minute. I'm in Scotland with his whiskey.
Well, you see, there's one possible suggestion. I suggest you get one of those bottles out the back and find yourself a brazier.
Jerry, it's not in bottles. It's bulk liquid. It's all loose. It's flushing about and kicks you up the backside when you brake too hard. It's bulk liquid.
You've got
flammable.
My God. What you can do? Well, could you not siphon some of it out and make a hot whiskey?
No, you can't do that. It's all sealed. Customs have to.
All right then. Oh, you're sick in the wrong country then. What you should do here? No, one of the things we should do actually, and this is occurring to me now as we speak, we should actually put the call out to see which chemist has got the best bottle in Northern Ireland.
Well, we don't do it in England, and I'm not going over to Northern Ireland for a bottle of medicine. I'm just after something, but if you're the listener.
All right, then there's very little we can do for you. Right. I don't know what to say, except to say that we hope you find a remedy soon. And there's little we can do. Listen, I hear you coughing.
That's bad, I know. I'm trying to sort of keep it down within the...
I know.
I'm brave that way.
Well, you're okay. Well, thank you for... Yes?
Well, before I go, I've got a point of contention to pick with you. That other gadget that was on...
Yes.
Right, the gadget that was on earlier, like...
Yes.
He said the English sense of humour is inferior to yours. What do you mean by that? Explain himself.
What was that again? Sorry, I was reading something. What? I wasn't listening to you. What did you say?
Well, that's the story of my life. Basically, the gadget that was on before me...
Yes.
Right, he says that... before the news, that the English sense of humour is inferior to the Irish sense of humour. Explain himself. What do you mean by that?
No, I think possibly you'll find that what he means is the southern English sense of humour. When we talk about English people, we draw a line below Watford.
Where do you think I'm from?
You're from probably Manchester.
Have a word with yourself, Gerry.
Liverpool,
from
sorry.
Manchester.
Liverpool.
No, man. Newcastle way.
Newcastle.
Yeah,
well,
I'm not English, I'm Geordie.
I know that's, I mean, you're not English. No, English people are from below Watford. Anything above that is okay.
And I think that Sean fella, he's wasted on your show. He should have his own show, you know.
Oh, we're losing the line here. I'm afraid I can't hear you anymore. Sorry, you're breaking up. You'll have to go.
Gerry.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Bye. Would you please, here are some text messages. I'm very, very careful with these. Would you play a special request of your choice for Thomas Reid of A Shock and to cheer him up? Love from Paul. Listen, I'm only getting bits of this. You're not printing these out right.
Yes.
I'm only getting half of them.
Right.
I'm only getting half of them.
Right. There's a call in too. Okay.
Listen, see when you're printing these out.
Right, okay, I'll pass that on.
Sometimes I feel as if I'm alone here.
Okay, right.
See when you're printing these out.
Right.
Hello?
Hello?
See when you're printing these out.
Yeah.
I'm only getting half of them.
Where's your other half?
I don't know where the other half is.
That's only one message.
No, but look.
What?
Whenever you're printing these out, see the way you've got the number on the left-hand side?
11. Right.
I don't want that number. Because there's an inch missing.
That's very complicated.
Well, why don't you do it right? I can't read these.
Neither can I.
What kind of a system is this?
Well, our air share here in the Wee station is much simpler.
Well, why can't he?
They just come out in big lines.
Oh, here's a request to tell me the story about the apple cake.
There's Anne-Marie wants you in too. Are you finished with A Man Scotland?
I don't know. Yes, I am indeed, yes. Hello, good morning, Anne-Marie.
Good morning, Gerry. It's quite a while since I phoned you.
Yes.
I'm your ex-show band correspondent.
Oh, God bless you. You've been mercifully quiet.
Hmm?
You've been mercifully quiet.
Yes.
Have you heard about the new threat?
Pardon?
Have you heard about the new threat?
Threat of what?
There's a new show band show touring Northern Ireland shortly. It's called Dancing Queues and Huckleblock Shoes.
Oh, I thought the only show band we still had was him that's on in the afternoon.
Hugo?
Hugo, yes.
And George. Not forgetting George. He'll be angry.
He's caught in a time warp. Well, I want us to discuss something else with you.
Okay, go ahead.
Everybody has their own sense of humour.
Indeed, yes.
Well, since I had my skull fractured 29 years ago, I have lost my sense of humour.
Nobody has ever said that to me before.
But prior
Nobody has ever said to me before, since I had my skull fractured, I've lost my sense of humour. You're the first one who's ever said that to me.
Well, I can't find things funny that my husband and my young children sit and laugh at in hysteria at television.
And do you think it's purely because you fractured your skull?
Yep.
And how are you now? Are you okay within yourself, as they say?
No.
Well, how does it affect you? I mean, obviously, you fractured your skull, and were you in hospital for a long time?
6 months unconscious, all but 4 days.
6 months unconscious?
Yes.
My God.
I'm a walking miracle.
You were in a coma, basically.
Yes.
And you come out of that, and we...
The first thing I asked for was a cigarette.
I wish I had one myself, and there's nothing wrong with my head. Well, that's a matter of opinion, I suppose.
Well,
and the first thing you asked for, I bet you enjoyed that.
Well, I wasn't allowed one since I was still attached up to the...
Nurses don't understand a person need... No, nurses don't understand that when you fracture your skull, you need a fag.
I am a nurse.
You are a nurse?
Yes, I'm not working at the moment.
You should have lit your own cigarette. Well, tell me this, and so how did it affect you? How did it affect you when you come out of that? Well, how was your life different?
It means I can't walk properly since
Yes.
I had a knee replacement done 6 years ago that was unsuccessful.
Uh-huh. Well, that's nothing to do with your skull.
No, my long-term memory has gone to hell, and so has my short-term memory.
Uh-huh. And your sense of humour has altered.
Yes.
But what did you think was funny before you got your skull fractured?
I thought Eric Morecambe was one of the most hilarious comedians on television. Not Ernie Wise, Eric Morecambe.
There's only so many jokes you can do about short, fat, hairy legs. I've always discovered that.
No, and even now, if there was an Eric Morecambe show on at Christmas time, which there wasn't this year, unfortunately.
Well, there was, actually.
I would smile. I can't laugh. I just smile at his jokes. I thought he was the best stand-up comedian ever on television.
But you still sense the humour of it. You smile, but you don't laugh.
Yes.
Well, what other people do you used to regard as funny that you don't think are funny anymore? You don't even smile at?
Frankie Howard.
Frankie
Benny
Hart.
Hill.
Some of the old names here. Frank Hart.
Spencer. I loved him.
Michael Crawford.
Yes.
Well, if you see him now, do you remember that you thought he was funny, but you don't think he's funny anymore? Is that the way it works?
Well, again, I would sit and smile, but I couldn't laugh.
Well, who do you laugh at? Don't be telling me the Hole in the Wall gang now.
I don't laugh at anything anymore.
I'm the same, you know. I think I'm nearly the same. Maybe we're watching the wrong things.
Well, you see, after my accident, when I got home, I laughed at things other people would have cried at, and vice versa. I was crying when other people were laughing.
You mean you were laughing at things that weren't a bit funny? That must have been very embarrassing.
It was.
What kind of things would you have laughed at? If somebody hurt themselves, would you laugh?
Yep.
Really?
Yep.
Well, that
I
must have
even
been...
have got a cassette tape down the stairs that I recorded when my mother came home one day from the hairdresser's after having a new perm.
Yes.
I had a tape recorder down behind the sofa and had it switched on. And even yet, when I listened to it, which she told me to dispose of, but I'm not disposing of it, so that I'd have it to hear her voice after she dies.
Yes.
I laugh at it. I think it is hysterical.
It's you laughing at things that aren't funny? Like what? Were you laughing at her perm?
Yes.
And she didn't think that was a bit funny, the fact that
It was
you were...
only £5 in those days, 28 years ago.
£5 for a perm.
Mm-hmm.
So when your mother came in with her perm, you laughed at it, and it was tape recorded, and she wanted you to destroy it because she didn't want to hear you recording of you laughing at her perm when you didn't think it was funny. And she didn't think it was yeah. This is all very complicated, I have to say.
Mm-hmm.
Well, so are you okay now? I mean, that's a long time ago. How long ago did you say? It was 20 many years ago?
29 years ago in March.
Well, you know, many people who've fractured their skull haven't lasted as long as you.
Well, I was told I would be in a wheelchair before I was 40, and I'm now 51. I'm still walking very badly, but I'm still walking.
Well, you're ahead of the posse then, in that case, aren't you?
Mm-hmm.
Well done.
It nearly killed me to walk up from the Marine Corner to the Diamond to see you last Christmas when you were up at the Co-op.
Where was that now, exactly?
Not Christmas, sorry. The first week at the Lamb's Fair.
Oh, yes, that was last year.
Yeah.
We couldn't go this year. We sent Hugo instead.
Yes, unfortunately. I never walked up to see
him.
him.
He killed it completely.
Mm-hmm.
No, so that was last year. And that's it. Well, was I talking to you?
Mm-hmm.
Was I? Was I reasonably sober?
You were. I gave you a bank statement, the back of it for you.
I remember you. I remember you.
Mm-hmm.
I do. Sorry, you mean got into an English accent there?
You were all English.
Did you hear that?
I remember you.
I remember you.
That's your Radio 4 voice.
Why did I do that?
I don't know why.
I just came on all of a sudden.
I heard it.
I remember you.
Yeah, I remember
Wonder why I did that.
Why
just came all of a sudden.
Look, Anne-Marie's laughing. Anne-Marie found that funny.
I don't know why she found that funny.
Yeah.
I don't know why I started to do that. I don't know. I don't know. Just came out of me.
Right.
Anyway, I'll go back to normal. Sorry about that. I became English for a moment.
It's quite all right. Are you talking to Sean or are you talking to me?
I'm talking to you now. I turned English for no...
Do you not honestly think Eric Morgan was hysterical?
Well, it was never my cup of tea, even then.
Well, who is your favourite comedian?
I don't like anybody.
You don't find anything amusing on the television?
No, I'll tell you what. I'll tell you.
Like Peter Sellers.
I do. I think Peter Sellers was a genius. I tend not to like English comedians because I think they're bitter about something.
No, I must agree with Anne-Marie. I laughed at Markham and Wise at the time.
I much prefer American comedians.
Oh, American comedians.
I think they're far cleverer.
Yeah.
English comedians seem to have something wrong with them.
Oh no! When Tarbuck burst on the scene, he was funny. He was a funny comedian.
Don't be. It's just a fellow who told jokes.
But he was funny. He made you laugh.
He never made me laugh.
I bet you made Anne-Marie laugh and other people laugh.
That's before.
Does Frank Carson make you laugh?
Yes. He does make me laugh because if you don't, he hits you.
No, Frank Carson makes you laugh.
Well, he does sometimes.
You cannot have a serious conversation with Frank Carson. You end up laughing.
He makes me laugh. Yeah.
Frank Carson is a funny man. But then Frank Carson is from Northern Ireland.
Exactly.
You forgot about that?
No, I was just about to pull you up.
No, you didn't. You forgot.
No, I had you there.
No, we had ourselves. We just...
Listen, this woman's got a sore head. Look, stop it. Anyway, tell me this. Yes. Are you happy now?
No, I don't know what happiness is anymore.
Well, do you have a family?
It's a routine every day. I get up and I sit about in my dressing gown and drink coffee, and I come to bed in the afternoon to help pass some of the day, and then I go back to bed after Emmerdale or after Coronation Street.
It doesn't sound like a terribly exciting life now, to be honest.
No, it's not. It's very boring and dull.
Do you live on your own?
No, I'm married and have 2 children.
Well, sure, they must be a comfort. You see, the main thing, the thing that you must not do, and I'm going to give you some advice here, do not watch Kilroy.
Oh, no, I used to watch him and then I switched it over to
Exactly, that means there's life in you. Once you watch Kilroy on a regular basis, you may as well jump into your coffin.
Yes.
No, at least you've got a bit of spirit left. You've enough sense to turn Kilroy off.
Yes.
All right, then. Don't watch Ricky either.
Who's Ricky?
Exactly. Well, you're all right. You seem bright enough to me. You seem, you're probably not as happy as you could be, but you're okay. You sound okay to me. You're reasonably at yourself.
That's right.
Okay, sure. And you've enough sense to listen to the radio. Do you turn John Bennett off, do you?
I do when I turn on as you.
Ah, you're all right then. You're all right in my book.
Yes.
Have you heard this new fellow on in the morning?
Which channel?
Stephen Nolan.
No, what station's he on?
He's on this one. He's on before me.
Oh, is John Bennett not on before?
John Bennett's not on now anymore. Stephen Nolan's on. He's very good. You should listen to him.
Oh. Has John retired?
No, he hasn't. He's doing other things, as they say. He's still doing his Sunday night, whatever he calls it.
Yes.
And he's doing all kinds of other things, but he's just not doing the Sunday morning, morning thing anymore. There'll come a time when I won't be doing it either.
Oh, Gerry.
It's a natural progression. It's called evolution.
Well, yours is the only one I would turn on.
Well, God bless you for saying that, and it cost me a lot of money to make you keep saying that.
No, I never could stand Hugo, and he's...
Now, funny enough, I'm the same.
You will, and George Jones is on for half an hour too long.
Brian's
they give
on
you
one.
the 2 hour
Brian's on one, Gerry. Needs your help.
Stop talking over the top of that woman.
With an ad.
Yeah. All right. What's your name? What's your name, love? Sorry, I've forgotten your name.
Anne-Marie.
Anne-Marie. Anne-Marie, we're going to have to go off now and talk to somebody else. But
That's quite all right.
You keep your chin up and you keep listening and don't be watching Kilroy, and there's nothing wrong with you. You're okay.
I just wanted to let you know that I thought Eric Morecambe was hilarious.
Thank you for telling us that.
Yes.
And as long as there's something you can enjoy, so you're okay.
Yes.
All right, love.
I have to go for a sleep now.
I wish I could go for a sleep. I would need one. All right, then. You still got a bit of humour left. There's still a bit of spark there yet.
Right.
Okay.
Okay, Gerry.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. She was all right, wasn't she?
I've got your disease.
She's more lively than you, and she's got a fractured skull.
You give me your disease.
What disease was that?
The waking up disease.
Oh.
The not sleeping disease.
It's not good.
I woke up twice.
Mm-hmm.
This morning and yesterday morning.
Do you go to the toilet?
I did, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Then you go down the stairs, so.
Yeah.
Do you have a wee drink of water after? Just a wee sip?
I didn't. No.
Ah, you did. What you do is you go out and have a wee piddle.
How do we...
And then a wee sip of water and then back into the scratcher.
Oh, a wee sip of cranberry and apple juice.
Cranberry and apple juice? I have to make do with water.
Oh.
What kind of a house do you live in?
There's Brian who needs your help with that.
You must have groceries in your fridge.
See that paper you have for that?
Why have I been given this paper?
If you talk to the man in one, he'll explain all.
Don't be trying to run this show, Sean.
No,
don't be giving me papers I have no idea what they are. And man, he could be talking about anything.
No, if you started to talk to him, you won't know what's going on.
I know what's going on. I'm looking at it.
Well, he's there now.
It's an ad for PricewaterhouseCoopers in Ulster Scots.
Well, Brian's there.
That's brilliant, yeah. Hello, Brian.
Good morning, Gerry. How are you?
You brought my attention to this ad in the Irish News, which is on page 34 of today's Irish News.
I did. I was sitting this morning having my breakfast, listening to your wonderful radio show.
Mm-hmm.
And I just happened to glance at the jobs section and came across this wonderful ad. And
no, we need to be very careful here, you see, because a lot of people take this very seriously indeed. And I think, there's a lot in this, but sometimes I think, you have to look at it and say, hold on a minute.
Well, I was looking at it from the point of view, would I be qualified for this?
Well, it says here, they're looking for the Beard Ulster Scots come and honor the Belfast Grains, further the learning, fending Grathan and use Ulster Scots as a living lead, to bring up and on that to feck its clocked focus, whatever that means. The job needs a body what has the following things to offer.
See, yes.
Ye mun have college letters after your name, add a wee business, and sex your working in an art related to business. That seems to me that you need some arts background.
Oh.
2, ye man who worked for 3 year or more a long way and for resident Kearns. You must have worked for 3 or 4 years for resident Kearns. I have no idea what resident Kearns are. Ye man who worked for 3 year or more doing cellar or office guidance.
Yes.
Is that for real?
Yeah. For a job form a Whatton's Bunny, gay a call to number 4402890245444. Gain the reference USD. On the other hand, you could send a post to Liz McLean. You should let us know what way ye would like to hae the Wittens, and they're print out a post soon tape or braille. Anybody with a disability and has need of help will begin it for the asking.
What's the job?
But what is a Graham Guider in Donegal?
A Graham Guider, I have no... The ad is for... They were looking for someone to fill the post of Graham Guider in Donegal. Is that Donegal? Is it?
You should know.
I don't. What do I know?
Well, you're from Donegal.
I know, but I don't speak Ulster Scots. Yeah. And I'm quite... let me say this. I'm not against Ulster Scots. I'm very interested because I've got a number of programmes coming up on another radio station about the Ulster Scots.
That's why it's
Didn't I go to America?
That's why it's been brought to your attention.
I know, but I have to say... Now, I have to say that I don't think... now, this is only a personal opinion, but I don't think the Ulster Scots people are doing themselves a great deal of service by actually publishing ads in this way, because I think it leaves them open to a little ridicule. I really do.
Can we phone your uncle?
Okay.
Pardon?
Can I phone your uncle?
I will do.
What do you mean, my uncle?
Would he know?
But who's my uncle?
I don't know. You should know who your uncle is.
Well, what do you say if you phone my uncle?
Well, I phone your uncle in Buncrana and ask him.
He's dead.
But what does a Graham Gator do?
I don't know. We're trying to figure it out. You can phone him if you like. I'll tell you what, if you get him, let me know. He's been dead for 10 years.
Any of your relatives?
Just knew the beard is looking to put in a Graham Gator to Rafo in the county of Donegal. It is Donegal. It's a village called Rafo.
Yeah, lovely.
The yin appointed will work under the head of Fouquets and mun look after the furthering of the Fouquets. History and here skipped Graham Gator. Out in the counties along the border by Yuccan resident Kerns and other yins of the same milk.
Is it some sort of a tourist officer they're looking for?
No, it's, I don't know what a Graham Gator is. Maybe somebody would tell me. Do you know, it sounds, what I can make out here, it sounds like they want somebody to gather folk tales for, I have no idea. The job needs a body wha has the following things to offer.
Much are they paying?
Let's see.
Paying 44,000.
The stipend is from €34,000 to €44,000. Jeez.
That's all right. Let's find out what it is.
It's much more than me and you get together.
It's fine.
The yin appointed will be put in the fit of this range. In other words, that's what you'll get. The Board Ulster Scots and the North-South Council of Ministers is behind Unic and sluts for and is looking for it to get forms in for yins with that recht qualifications no matter what kindred leaders. That means it's open to Protestant Catholics. That's what that means, yeah. Well, what can you say? It's on page 34 of the Irish News today, anyone who doesn't believe us.
And it's what is it again?
It's a Graham Gator.
Graham Gator.
For Donegal.
Right.
Donegal. I really don't know what a Graham Gator. Let's see. And 40 further the learning fend in Graham and use of Ulster Scots as a living lead. Graham Gator. I don't know. It's like not to do with slaying or anything.
That's what the
See, if
first
I
thing
was
you
to
think
apply
of.
for this job...
What?
If I was to apply for this job, I think it'd be very handy to know what would be expected.
Yeah, it would be. Maybe someone could tell us.
Hello, Gerry Show.
Well, we'll try and find out for you.
That would be great.
Thank you for drawing our attention to that. I missed that. Okay, thank you. God bless you, my son.
Gerry.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. I'm quite exhausted now after that. That was quite difficult for me.
All right.
This is Corrigan. It turns out that I know Corrigan. I'll tell you the story after. I was told that I met this man. I have drunk with this man and didn't know who he was.
Well, we came across a little town about 5 miles south of Mino. Pretty little place. Population 500. Well, we rounded everybody up in the centre town. Men at the front, women at the back. Standard procedure. Didn't want any trouble. Sort of. We want your water. We want your water. We want your water. We want your water. Well, we had 7 trucks with us that day. 2 of them were full, and one of them was used for recreational purposes. Well, the plan was we'd fill up the remaining 4 trucks, steal what we could, leave town, head on for the next one. As far as I was concerned, we're only there for the one thing. We want
want your water. We want your water. We want your water. We want your water.
Well, I don't know why, but Jim started shooting. He killed 4 of the men and 3 of the women. I found out later he wasted 8 shots in total. Well, then I had to use one on him. Well, his brother Jake didn't take too kindly to this and took a shot at me. He missed. I didn't.
We want your water. We want your water. We want your water. We want your water.
That's Corrigan. Now, I didn't know until yesterday that Corrigan's a band from Fermanagh, and that I met that singer one time in the company of a well-known actor whom you know, called Ciara McManaman, who's the nephew of J.P. McManaman, who writes poems. Do you know all about all this?
I didn't know.
John McManaman, who writes poems in this programme, very gifted poet.
Yeah.
His uncle, he is uncle of Ciara McManaman. Ciara McManaman, you know Ciara McManaman? Very fine actor. He's going to be huge. He is big. He's going to be bigger. And his sister is in that band. And I met him one time when he was on the Daniel O'Donnell show. Do you remember when I was Daniel's sidekick?
Yeah.
Remember just before I retired from light entertainment?
Uh-huh.
Well, I met him one night and he was with this other guy who was, well, drink taking. And it turned out it was that guy who sang that record.
It's very interesting.
Isn't it very interesting?
On page 31, you'll get the English of that job.
Page 31 where?
Of the newspaper, of the Irish news. Whatever paper you're reading now.
Okay, I'm trying to find out.
And there's a column one.
It's a development officer. What? A Griffin Guider? A development officer. The Ulster Scots has been sent up onto the terms of what are the yeah, right.
There's the development officer.
Yeah.
That's it then.
That's a real anticlimax, that, wasn't it? Listen, by the way, these text messages, I have to apologise for people who sent the text messages. See, the last couple you printed out, that's okay.
Right.
The last couple you printed out. The bulk of the text messages I've got today, I can't read them. Because they just peter out. They're only half of them, each message. But whatever you did, you mistakenly did something right there.
Janet.
Janet has figured out how... Have you figured out how to do that, Janet?
Know how to do it now. But Janet knows how to do it.
So my apologies to the people whose messages I couldn't read out. And here's some of that. Well, yeah. Here's one. When a man talks dirty to a woman, it's sexual harassment. When a woman talks dirty to a man, it's $1.50 a minute. Gerry, tell us the story about the apple cake and put on some Christy Moore for the guys who lost the cannabis yesterday.
Right.
There's 3 different. Sean, get him in there to play Elvis. It's the King's birthday today. Was it really?
Yes.
That's exciting. Hello to Snowy from all his fans in Portadown.
Elvis is in your core.
He's not coming out today. Birthday or no birthday. I never liked Elvis.
That's hateful.
I only liked Elvis when he came out first. You see, I was too young for Elvis and too old for the Beatles. I was an in-betweenie.
Right.
See what an in-betweenie is? I was never happy with either of them. But you see, by the time... no, I don't want to talk about that. Is there someone on the line here?
Yes, someone.
The acronym we were talking about yesterday was SINPAD. Single, independent, no partner, absolutely delighted. Why did I start talking in English to that woman?
I don't know.
I began to talk like that.
You said it twice, too.
I said it twice.
Yeah.
For no reason. Here's Anthony Crotty who writes to me. No, it's Morris, actually. He says, this is my second attempt to get you to find out how local words are used. I'm from Strabane. I want to know if any other areas use these words. He gives me 2 words. He's obviously an etymological person. Nuance. Right.
Nuance?
Yeah. Could you give me a sentence with the words nuance in it?
Nuance.
Yeah.
Nuance. Don't be wearing those shoes. They're your nuance.
No. Well, very good try. But that's interpreting nuance as being slang, well, not slang, an abbreviation of new ones.
Yeah.
Well, nuance is not. For instance, my mother would always say that, oh, is that what you tell me about Mrs. Doherty around the corner? Well, that's nuance to me.
Oh, nuance. Aye, that's right. I heard that now.
It's actually news.
That's news on to me.
Yeah, it's news. But see, you'd also say, oh, there you are. It's news to see you here.
I know a man who lived close to you when you were a wee boy in Buncrana.
Yes.
And he would say to me, he's a wee Buncrana man too as well, but he would say to me, there was a welt of men. Or there was a welt.
A welt, maybe.
Welt. Well, maybe saying, no, I said...
A welt of men. A welt, right. I mean, a bunch of men, a large number.
Yeah. An awful lot.
I've heard that.
There was a welt.
Here's another word he wants to know. He wants to know are these words from olden times, or are they just local slang? Well, as a matter of fact, they're Ulster Scots.
You trouble with your wind?
I had a little trouble there, excuse me. Yeah. See, these are Ulster Scots, because I hope people don't think I'm taking the mickey out of Ulster Scots. But all I'm saying is, the only thing I'm saying is Ulster Scots it's a genuinely interesting language. But I don't think they should print ads like that, because they're only leaving themselves up to ridicule.
What's the other word?
Right, okay, right. Give me a sentence with the word unbeknownst in it.
Oh,
that's easy.
Aye.
Go on.
Well, Janet come into the room unbeknownst to me.
In other words, you didn't see her coming in. She sneaked in the room, unbeknownst, yeah. Unbeknownst to him, she had another boyfriend.
Aye.
That's the one I like.
Jane's in one.
Oh, really? Hello, good morning, Jane.
Good morning, Gerry. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Gerry, during the week I heard you talking about skin products for men.
Yes, it's very important to get the right skin product if you're a moisturiser, which I am.
Right. Well, obviously you didn't watch the programme last night.
I did. It's called Beautiful Boys.
Did you?
Yeah.
I thought you didn't, because I was sure you would have mentioned it if you had.
No, I didn't mention it because they were too vain for me.
Oh, it was terrible.
Awful.
Horrendous.
Those people should have been taken out and shot. Not that we do that in Northern Ireland. We've stopped doing that now. No, it was horrendous to watch, wasn't it? You see, there's such a thing as male vanity brought to that extreme is very, very bad. See, it's all right to be a little vain, but most hairdressers are vain. Most male hairdressers are like that. It's just a pure vanity that sees nothing else, that only cares about what you look like and nothing else matters. Women have been like that for thousands of years, but men shouldn't really be like that. Men should look after their skin. I mean, I moisturise on a daily basis.
Yeah, well, I would agree with that.
It's only because it makes your skin healthy and makes your skin nice to touch. And if you like to touch it, maybe somebody else might want to touch it too. That's my theory anyway, and I'm sticking to it. Did you see that? You watched that, didn't you?
I did.
It was pretty horrendous.
It was.
See the man getting his nose cut up.
I did. Well, I couldn't watch those bits.
I watched it. The man...
well, I knew that was going on, but it just didn't look...
Well, I watched the whole way through, and it was... anyone who looked at that would never get nose surgery done.
Never.
They hauled and pulled at his nose like it was an old terrier. And then they put a bit of his backbone in it.
That's right.
Oh, stop.
But, Gerry, did you not think the worst part was the stripper? The waxing?
Which one? No, I did. I must have missed a bit of it. Which was
It was a male stripper, and he went in to get waxed, and all the body.
I didn't see that. Was that at the start of the programme?
No, it was about the middle, maybe.
Well, I must have missed a bit. I must have went out for a cup of tea. Because, a man calls by our house, and I go out and get tea off him.
Right.
And I missed that. Well, tell me, what did he do?
Well, he said it was better to have a hairless body when he was a stripper, so he had an all-over waxing.
I know what that's like.
No, Gerry, you wouldn't have known.
I do know what that's like. I do know what that's like because I did a wee programme last year about bodybuilders and for television. And I went into this beauty salon and they said that the bodybuilders were depilated. I think that's the word. Maybe that's the wrong word, I don't know. And they said, how would you like to see what it's like? So they waxed a piece of my chest, which is quite, I have to say, hairy.
Right.
And I got it whipped off. And I have to tell you, that's pain. That is real pain. I was hirsute, and then I was not hirsute no more. Anyway, so you were shocked by that. I mean, you're probably a lady who's not averse to a bit of depilation herself.
Yeah, well, that's true.
You must have done your legs every now and again.
Now and again.
I hate to use the word Brazilian. Maybe not, no. But you've done your legs.
Done the legs, yeah.
Okay, well, you know what pain is too. So I don't fancy doing it the whole way through.
Well, I'm glad you're sensible, Gerry, that you are only sticking to the skin products.
I'm sticking to the skin products that I know. All right, then. So anyone who saw that programme last night will know whereof we speak.
Yes, indeed they will.
And will share the horror that we shared. All right, love.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Gerry. Enjoy your show.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Did you see that programme last night about beautiful boys? Because you'd probably think we're all sissies.
No, I turned it on with about 5 minutes. I turned it on for the football.
Oh, real man, eh?
Yeah.
Listen, we're getting requests for Lance Boyle and the Boilers, boy named Sue.
Billy wants you on too.
No, I'm going to play you first.
Play Billy. Talk to Billy.
This is you now. You should be happy.
Well, my daddy left home when I was 3, and he didn't leave much to Mammy and me. Just this old guitar and an empty bottle of booze. I don't blame him 'cause he run and hid, but the meanest thing that he ever did was before he left, he went and named me Sue.
Would you believe it?
Well, you must have thought it was quite a joke, and it got a lot of laughs from a lot of folks. It seems I had to fight my whole life through. Some gal would giggle and I'd get red, and some guy'd laugh and I'd bust his head. I tell you, life ain't easy for a boy named Sue. Well, I grew up quick and I grew up mean. My fists got hard, my wits got clean. I roamed from town to hide my shame. But I made me a vow to the moon and stars, I'd search the honky-tonks and bars and kill that man that gave me that awful name. Well, it was Donegal in mid-July. I just hit town and my throat was dry. I thought I'd stop and have myself a brew. I had an old saloon on the street of mud. There at a table dealing studs sat the dirty, mangy dog that named me Sue. Well, I knew that snake was my own sweet dad from a worn-out picture that Mammy had, and I knew that scar on his cheek and his evil eye. He was big and bent and grey and old. I looked at him and my blood ran cold, and I said, "My name's Sue. How do you do? Now you're going to die." Yeah, that's what I told him. Well, I hit him hard right between the eyes, and he went down, but to my surprise, he come up with a knife and he cut off a piece of my ear. But I busted a chair right across his teeth, and we crashed through the wall and into the street, kicking and a gouging in the mud and the blood and the beer. I tell you, I fought tougher men, but I really can't remember when. He kicked like a mule and he bit like a crocodile. Well, I heard him laugh and I heard him curse. He went for his gun, but I pulled mine first. And he stood there looking at me, and I saw him smile. He said, "Son, this world is rough, and if a man's going to make it, he's got to be tough." And I knew I wouldn't be there to help you along. So I gave you that name and I said goodbye. I knew you'd have to get tough or die, and it's that name that helped to make you so strong. Yeah. He said, "Now you just fought one hell of a fight, and I know you hate me and you got the right to kill me now, and I wouldn't blame you if you do. But you ought to thank me before I die for the gravel in the gut and the spit in your eye, 'cause I'm the named you Sue." What could I do? What could I do? I got all choked up and I threw down my gun and I caught him my paw. He called me son, and I came away with a different point of view. And I think about him now and then, every time I try and every time I win. And if I ever have a son, do you know, I think I'm going to call him Owen or Bosco. Anything but Sue.
Oh, dear.
Well, what do you think? Is that a wrap?
Crap.
Do you think with that shirt?
Never. That's the Undertones, of course. That's a song called Thrill Me. That's from an album called Get What You Need. That's a new album, the Undertones' latest album with all new stuff. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, who's that?
Good morning, Gerry. How are you? My name's Morris, and I work for City Beat. I do the breakfast show on City Beat. And you've created a monster.
Yes.
Lance Boyle. I'm getting calls in the morning saying, where can people buy this record, and when's it available, and et cetera, et cetera.
I'm afraid you've got the wrong number. Who are you looking for again?
It was Lance Boyle, looking for the superstar that is Lance Boyle.
I'm sorry, this is Ling's Chinese Laundry.
Oh, sorry about that.
Okay,
well, while I'm on, have you done my socks?
You said that, didn't you?
See, I'm famous and you won't let me go.
No, can't allow that.
That's not
I can't allow it. That song, The Woody by Bob Dylan. Thought I'd play a wee bit of that. There's a couple of minutes left on that. No, well, there's 40 seconds left on it. I forgot we have to leave a little early today. We're leaving at 57:20. Yes. A little tale from a person who will talk to you about someplace that they know. That's this place coming up in a couple of seconds. We'll be back tomorrow at the same time. Goodbye.
92 to 95 FM. BBC Radio Ulster.
It's time now for our new daily series for 2004, This Place. Today, Michael Patterson talks about Saintfield.
I wonder why I'm still living here whenever everything has went sort of the wrong way, but I don't know. I've travelled extensively and I've always seemed to come back home, and now I have a little girl who's 4.5, and I would just want her to be brought up in the village the way I was brought up. The village itself has changed extensively and has become virtually a commuter town from Saintfield to Belfast in 20 minutes. So we've had a big influx of people from Belfast which haven't really been accepted by the country people. They're probably their own worst enemies, as they don't integrate with the people in the village. They don't come out and they don't join the local football teams and things like that. From the countryside point of view, there's been massive changes as well. The disappearance of the hedgerows, the demise of the songbirds and the blue butterflies that we used to see in hundreds have now disappeared as the hedgerows have gone. The songbirds just were deafening in the morning. You got used to them, but they've gone. It doesn't happen anymore. That's something that you're always going to miss as a child. And our own local river where we used to fish extensively as children was heavily polluted and we didn't really know what colour the fish were going to be. So now as a professional fisherman, the problem is now with my local river under so much threat and virtually wiped out, we have to go a long distance to do what we used to be able to do on our doorstep. But perhaps common sense will prevail and the powers that be will start restoring some of the hedgerows like they're doing in Norfolk in England. Perhaps we'll get a better look at the rivers and get them restocked and get them cleaned up. And for the generations to come, perhaps they can enjoy the countryside the way I did as a boy.
If you'd like to take part in this place, you can contact the series producer by ringing 9033 8427, or you can email this.place@bbc.co.uk.